So welcome everybody, and thank you for joining. What I'd like to do is to begin by just giving a little bit of a background as to one, how this course has come about, and a little bit of background on Goli. She'll do quite a bit herself, Catherine, and just to talk about just value add and what the idea is here. So value add was formed some time back in 2007, and the whole objective of value add was to really start creating leaders, and particularly focusing on the youth, but it's actually due to the extension of programs and courses that we have, it has extended. And the whole idea really is to develop this leadership quality. Now, obviously, in the last, what we can call it now, 12 months, there's been significantly more than that needs to be looked at. And one of those is skills. The ability for the transfer of skills, the ability to learn, uplearn, relearn, continuously learn. And it's my personal opinion as one of the founders of Value Add that that's going to take greater prevalence than what was before, which was that wonderful thing called a qualification, which you could cram, have no practical experience on, and then believe that you could then go and get some work experience to gain some practicality. Having conversations with Goli, who I've known for very many years, who is an epitome of this construct of learning, relearning, and uplearning, she'll give you a little bit of background about herself, where she is, and how she ended up in marketing, and also quite specifically in brand marketing. But like a classical marketer, and there are not many of those, she's gone through the sales life as well. So that gives her a 360 view of just how to present, whether it's a product, as I said earlier, whether it's a service, and as importantly, whether it's you as an individual who is actually fulfilling a need. And we brought this course on together just to target people who have got marketing qualifications and really need very strong skilled base, and by skill I mean practical based articulation of it. And then we also brought it on for interns, those who are going through the process of learning. But as importantly, and Catherine and I are quite passionate about those who need this program just to learn the skills, so they have not maybe got the foundational elements from an academic point of view, but they certainly can come on here and gain the knowledge as well as the skill in terms of how to practically apply it. So without further ado, I would like to hand over to her to give you a presentation on the overview of the course. And we'll talk a little bit more about the course later on. She'll give you a bit of insight as to what the course will entail and what will be in it. And therefore also will give you the details as to how to register, etc. So thank you, Goli. Thank you for doing this. And over to you with your wisdom and expertise.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Vic, and welcome to everyone who has joined us. If it was winter, it will be dark by now, but thank God we're still in a season where the light is still up and it feels like it's still midday. As Vic has introduced, what is it that we're trying to do here? I think what's important for me is to understand that you coming in here, you're not coming in from the cold. You're coming in here because you're interested in marketing. You're coming in here because you have been part of marketing, and you understand that you can't just be stagnant. You have to keep learning every single day. We didn't know that COVID was coming. We were just relaxed, doing our plans as usual, and then COVID hit us. And then we had to think differently, and we had to think very fast. Now imagine if you are new in marketing and you just started and COVID has just hit us. So we're coming in from very different angles to say, let's journey with you. Don't get stuck. Let's journey with you. So I'm going to take you through who am I and how I got into marketing. Like everybody else, I did not just fall off a tree somewhere. I have a mom and a dad, and I have 3 brothers. I'm the only sister I have. And I was raised by aunties, you know, gogos and so on. It was funny, my mom reminded me of this just yesterday about one of the aunties who, well, some of the aunties that will take me to shibins while mom was at work. And they didn't realize what a quick learner and observant person I had been when I was a child. And then my mom would learn when I'm now home and I start repeating all the ugly words that I would have learned at the shibin. so, so I mean, I laughed so hard on Sunday when she was reminding me of all these things. You know, now I'm a mom myself. I've sent my children to, you know, preschool and so on, not to go-go's who take kids to the shibin. So that's the journey. And I've said that I'm also a sister because I'm not just a sister to my siblings, I'm a sister to a whole lot of people. Because that's what grounds me, you know, just have people around me. I love people around me. Schooling, like most of us, I went to Ukanyiso, which was a combined school. You know, it had both primary and higher primary classes. It was purely Xhosa and all other subjects. And then I went to high school. And, you know, I remembered going to vet Saturday school. Some of you will remember this, that we had to attend Saturday schools to have extra classes. So having more skills or more opportunities is not a new thing. It's something we all have been doing, you know, somehow. Varsity-wise, I was in Scotland. I did my biochemistry and I finished as an honors degree in 1993. That's how many donkey years ago. Okay, so that's a science background that I had. I also went to Coventry. I did a telecommunications studies. I got back home. I did my IMM. So I'm quite rounded. I did a whole lot of things. I also did some courses in sales and marketing when I was still trying to find out what is it that I'd love to do, because it was difficult. I mean, the plan was that I'm going to do research in sciences, especially if you love watching CSIs, that's me. I love investigating and analysis. I thought I was going to be one of those people, but hey, hello, South Africa did not give me that. But I choose to say God had a different path for me. So I ended up in marketing. I started in sales. I did my sales. If you look at my work experience, the internal sales, I was selling fridges and microwaves at KIC. And I moved on. I was selling Ray-Bans. I was selling contact lenses. I was selling solutions and all kind of things. People will bring in their contact lenses, which were chapped by the contact lens case, and they will tell such stories. No, it's damaged. In the meantime, they cut it to their case. So I used to do all kind of things. I ended up as a junior product manager at a pharmaceutical company, which was close to heart because now I was mixing my science with everything else. You know, just cutting the story short of my academic and work experience, I've got 16 years behind me doing marketing, and I've got 5 years behind me doing sales. I've done mentorship. I still do mentorship. I love working with young people. I love sharing knowledge. You know, once you've learned, give it to other people. They need it. And I always say to especially young graduates that when I started many years ago in this industry, because my background is really in the pharmaceutical, most of it. When I started, there were hardly Black people in field when I was in field. It was largely the other races. And I needed so much someone that looked like me. I needed someone to help me, you know, show me the way. So it's because I know what it felt like to be on my own that I'm so passionate about doing what I do now. I love to share knowledge. I love to give direction. Let's teach others because they're also going to become better teachers as well. You know, graduates that leave me, I'll always say to them, what I have done for you and with you, please do it for others wherever you're going. You know, so this is what it's all about as well here. We help you to do better so you can also help others to do better. I'm also now working as a consultant in marketing. And part of what I am doing is, you know, like I look at it as a potpourri now. It's fun. It's all kind of different marketing, including partnering with the value add to have this course in marketing and help everybody else. So my purpose really is to help others do better. so they can be great. Share the love because uthando lubanzi. So who should be on this course? If you're curious about marketing, we'll try and keep it basic but interesting. You know, we're gonna have to try and make some balance here. Someone's coming in, they're already brand manager, they have some basics. Someone is coming in, they're saying, look, I'm curious about marketing, I wanna know what's happening. So we need to try and cater for both people who are coming in, others are new, others already know something. You are a varsity graduate with a marketing qualification, you need insight as to what is expected of you now that you are in a working environment or you're about to join a working environment. What's important in this course is we're not doing what you were doing at varsity here. Here we're all about the practicality of what you've earned at varsity. How do you implement and how do we do it? What is expected of you? As a junior brand manager, you need ongoing learning. You need to sharpen your skills. I know that from experience. A brand manager as well, you need to keep learning. And what we're going to try and do as well, this is not about you come in and you sit and you listen to me all the way. No. Otherwise, you're going to fall asleep and you're going to be bored. This is going to be a platform where it's interactive and we're sharing. We'll share case studies. You can come with an interesting case study, and then maybe we plan that case study for the following class to go through it. So I really, really encourage that we make it engaging. We share challenges. We see how we can deal with them. You know, you need to hear views from marketing experts as well. Between Vic and myself, we'll find some other experts that we know that can come in where we can have a session where, for example, we have someone who's quite experienced in digital marketing. They come in and we throw questions at them. They could be having some challenges or you have some ideas or you're running a campaign and you just to bounce back with some of these experts that we'll invite. So that's what we want to do. You know, there's more to marketing than what you see in a finished product. We're going to have such discussions. Go into it. What is a product? What is a brand? What is a different? At what point does a product become a brand? You know, what does that mean? We'll have such interesting discussions and how to improve your current marketing, whatever you're doing right now. Hence, I'm saying that we'll have experts that come in and you can ask questions. You know, we'll have case studies that we look into just to help you look at things differently. So why take advantage of this platform? From what I've said on the previous slide, I think it's becoming clearer why this should be something that you want to be part of. You want to continue to learn because change is guaranteed. Sometimes we need to confirm that we are in the right direction. You know, you can't work in silo when you're in marketing. You need a team around you. You need people that are experienced. Some people are not that experienced, but they know something. So now and again, you want to check, am I in the right direction? And we know competitors are never resting. So you need to sharpen your skills. You need to grow. As a brand person, when you were hired to do the job that you were doing, you said to them, I know how to do this. That means you are accountable for growth of that brand. So it makes sense that you have to keep sharpening your skills. You know, some of the things I'll be sharing with you, for example, will be what type of sites, like online sites where I get information, where I get to sharpen my skills as well every time. So those are the things we need to share, that you go there and you check what's the latest. What are they saying now about COVID? What strategies are happening around COVID? So we'll share such information with you. Marketing influencers, what we wear, what we eat, what we drive, politics and religion as well. You know, I follow pastors who talk sense in terms of spirituality on social media. And the fact that you have to find preachers on social media, it's because they get it, that without marketing, no one's going to know about you. Remember, the pastors are also fishers of men. To find where to fish, they also go on social media. So advertising is all over the place. We wouldn't know about the Bushiris if they were not marketing themselves. Yeah. So diversity in culture and the way we think is a challenge. You know, South Africa is quite diverse, or the world is quite diverse. So this is also very interesting as well. We can talk so much about it. And recently, when we talk about diversity, most of us go straight to that Theresa May and clique situation. You know, And there's quite a lot of such cases that have happened even with international brands. We've seen drama happening with Dove. We've seen the L'Oreals of this world getting in trouble. So we're going to have such case studies that we look at them to say, you know, how do you handle this? For example, recently with a campaign that I was working on, you know, with different cultures, with different races, we've realized now that our Caucasian partners have become so extremely sensitive that when we come up with ideas, the first thing they're checking is the Black community going to be okay with this? You know, it can be very frustrating because now it's become so restrictive what you say and how you do it and so on. So we need to have conversations about such things. And how do you handle it? How do you calm other people? How do you say, look, I've done my homework here, we're going to be okay? You know, so we need to have these conversations. And on that note as well, I see the platform that we're developing here as a safe platform because we can have that discussion and really go robust with it and laugh about it in this safe environment. And then you take it back to where you need to take it. But, you know, with a clear mind as to how you want to handle or you can handle such situations. So this will be a safe environment for that. Because your contribution to your marketing matters. That's why you were hired. You said to them, I know what I'm doing. They trust you with their brands. That's why therefore you need to keep sharpening your skills. We've put together some topics. The aim is to have 2 classes or 2 lessons a month. Okay. Some of these topics, when you look at them, you can see that one topic can take 2 lessons a month. You know, because we're doing overviews and we're also trying to get practical. Remember, this is not varsity, we're trying to be practical. So it's also going to be driven by, as we go through one particular topic, for example, if it gets so heated that we feel that we cannot leave this for one session, we need a second section, we'll do that. We will do that. But what we've covered here is the basics of what this course is going to entail. You know, value of marketing is going to be the first one that we're going to be talking about. Why brand marketing matters, what makes a product a brand, and so on. So I'm not going to go through them one by one. They are right here in front of you. I'm going to ask Vic as well to have them somewhere in the platform, should you wish to have a look at them. So these are the topics that we're going to be covering. As you can see here, I've mentioned that we're trying to cover people who are in marketing already and people who are new or curious to marketing. So this is a balance that we've put together for now. Another aspect of it, if you look at number 10, keep up with sales reports and the sales team. As marketers, we tend to be so passionate about marketing and we take lightly the value of our partners in sales. So, you know, we need to sharpen our skills there as well, not understanding just the people that are in sales, but read those reports. What do they mean? What do they say? And what are the implications for a marketing person? You get to ask, what is return on investment in everything that you put out there? So what report do you look at? You need to look at the sales. If the company is not doing well, is it marketing or is it sales? And we all know they always blame marketing. So you need to know those numbers. Know when it's your fault, know when it's their fault, but working as a team, find a way to find a solution versus pointing fingers at each other. We're going to look at the journey of the consumer. It's really changed. You cannot say that it's still the same. So we need to be sure when we look at consumers, for example, whether you're doing a business-to-business marketing or business to consumer, or you are doing a multi-level marketing for that matter, you know, network marketing, you have to understand the journey of the person you are targeting or the journey of the person you speak to, whom you are targeting on your business-to-business marketing. So without understanding that, then you're going to lose opportunities. So those are some of the basics in marketing that we need to make sure we're top of mind when it comes to those. How do you write a brief to an agency? If you don't have a tight brief, what you put in is what you get out. So those are the things we need to go into and check. And I've covered all of that. So basically here, we're now saying how will the lessons be conducted? As mentioned, we're going to have 2 a month. You need to go online and register. Vic will take you through this. And the cost is very affordable, guys. It's $350 per month. This has got nothing to do with the quality of work that we're doing. As you've seen the topics that we'll be covering, we're trying to make sure that people have access to learning, instead of being so expensive that people cannot afford learning. Presentation, I will spend time, 40 minutes, and the other 20 minutes, it's between interactive sessions and the recapping. So basically 20 minutes, it's for everyone else to say what they need to say. Okay, so feel free as well to take your notes. At the end of the course, you get to have a certificate of attendance. Just to pat yourself at the back that I committed to something. I've done it, I've finished it, and it's not even something you've committed to improving yourself and skilling yourself. So that becomes your reminder. It's also available, something that you can add into your CV to say, I upskill myself, I understand the value of upskilling myself. Okay. I am handing over to Vic to talk about how do you register, and once we start classes, that Zoom etiquette that we need to all have. I'm handing over to Vic now to please take over.
Right, unmute myself. That'll be great if I put my camera back on. That'll help too. Great. So Carol has just asked a question. Will you be the presenter of the course, Catherine? Yes.
Yes, I will be the presenter of the course. Vic will also be around as well. He's quite experienced. He did not tell you much about himself, but he's also a guru here. And to try and keep this exciting, I've asked him that he must also be, part of the session. For example, his history in sales and everything else, the man has held high positions. He's going to be of value to us. So we're not leaving those skills out. We are getting him in here. But to answer your question, yes, I will be presenting the course, and I'll be doing the research behind the content.
So thank you very much, Catherine. That's a comprehensive diagnostic of what the course will entail. And there are 2 things I wanted to touch on. The one was the fee. At ValueEd, look, the world is moving forward to a new age where learning, uplearning, reskilling, and skilling is not something that you can charge exorbitant amount of money for. I know that institutions still exist today to try and challenge that and continue to use traditional methodologies, but I think we need to try as much as possible when we get online to make accessibility to all levels. And Catherine mentioned this. This is for those of you who love marketing and are curious about marketing and have not managed to get to the qualifications of marketing. This is an amazing grounding from expertise in terms of what you can get that Catherine offers. So that's exactly why we said this. Let's scale will define the economies, but certainly in terms of hurdling, we want to make sure that everybody from graduates of marketing and gurus of marketing to the matric student who's just finished can have access to this and access to information. So that's the one, and we're very passionate about it. Oh, sorry, there was if you can put your last slide, that slide up, Clearly that one, yeah, that one. There was something else that I wanted to mention. Yes. So the registration process, please go online, go to valueed.co.za. If you scroll down, you'll see the marketing course. You click there, it'll take you to the marketing page, and you'll see where you can join and make payment. What we'll actually be doing first thing by tomorrow morning is making sure that there's a sort of a reference that will give us, one thing that we didn't think about was a reference that will give us an indication that you are in marketing. But if you can go as quickly as possible in order to do that, so that we can communicate with you and make sure Catherine knows who's attending and who will be there. I certainly know there are two here who, if I'm going to make sure that they're on this course, because they definitely need it for their businesses. And again, we encourage, people with businesses to understand this. The marketing that Catherine has referred to is the future. It's really going to be about how, and I put it in two phrases: how much attention are you getting, and how relevant are you? And if those two don't match together and correspond, then you're literally going to find yourself disappearing. And one of the things I'll add, Catherine, is and we can have it as part of the discussion somewhere, is what the advent of voice technology is going to do to marketing. When you look at cars today and their ability to, if I just, when I talk into a car and I say, can I have an Italian restaurant? It goes into Google, it searches a Google, and then Italian restaurants come up. But if I say, can I have Antonio's Italian restaurant? Then it will actually find Antonio's Italian restaurant closest to my location. So the marketing capability of you being able to have some level of attention is going to be massive in the future, both from an individual, business, and corporate point of view. I think, yes, we talked about the certificate of attendance. There will be definitely a certificate of attendance. Why? Because we firmly believe in this element of the need in the future to have to present not a qualification, but a skill. And what they will define the skill with is how are you consistently learning, uplearning, reskilling, and skilling yourself. And you're going to have a form of saying, hey, I'm always up to date with marketing. I'm not doing marketing with the 4 Ps of 1980. I'm doing marketing of today. And here's evidence of that. I got a certificate of attendance in these areas. So we believe that the accumulation of certificates of attendance are going to be important. The second thing that we believe in is, and this is where Kweli comes in, is your ability to practically articulate what you're going to be doing, not sort of theoretically conceptualize, but practically articulate. And that's why she says that it's not about sitting back and listening to her. It's going to be some serious engagements and also some great case studies that you'll be doing. So we do recommend it more so than ever. One of the things I would like to know, Catherine, is pricing and marketing, because we get into this. What is the impact of pricing? Where's pricing going? And we had this debate, particularly with the cost of this program, because quality is still referred to in price, right? The day I really got the understanding of fees must fall, simply because what they were saying was you need to reduce the cost of something in order for access, because it's no longer about status in terms of where the price level sits. Because remember, university was always a very elite position to get into. Only some, and some didn't. So so that's going to be an interesting one as well. Are there, I think, to hand over, are there any questions? Does anybody want to know any more or anything in terms of what's been said? I know Carol had asked the question, so I think that one has been answered. Any other questions? Oh, marketers, must be lots of questions from marketers. So maybe we can just then talk about when the program begins. Is that on your? All right. You've got that on your slide. When you need to make payment by, so you can be jumping into the first program. So.
Yeah. So as mentioned, guys, was that I'm just gonna put full screen again. As mentioned, that this course is going to be as practical as possible. The first lecture that we're having or session that we're having is going to be on the 18th, and we're going to be looking at the value of marketing. What role does it play? For example, I've put in a few slides already to say, we all know that when you say marketing, the first thing that comes to mind is advertising. And we don't blame ourselves or anyone else who think that marketing is about advertising, because that's what you see, that's what's interesting. We know that it's only just one element, be it good marketing or bad marketing, it doesn't matter. This is what we see, and this is what we call marketing. So such case studies, for example, what I have here, like controversial marketing, these are the kind of things we're going to be looking at as well. And I'll also share where I got these from, and I will send you, like, as a homework, for example, we go and research it and we discuss it in the next session. You know, it could be that maybe you were thinking of doing something like this because you're calling it the risk or controversial marketing. But when you bring it into this platform as a sounding board, we can say to you, oops, you're going to be in trouble for this. Did you think about this? Did you think about that? So we'll use these case studies. So the first date is the 18th, and then the second one is the 28th, because most people are at work. That's why you see our sessions will be later on, once you've gone home and you've settled. And I've said to Vic, no, I will not have it on a Friday. There's no way I am having it on a Friday. People are having their glass of something on a Friday. So 18 and the 28th, you can start to register.
Fantastic.
Okay, Vic.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, please go ahead and do that. One last sort of roll call for questions. Is there any question? Anything you'd like to know, anything that might be of interest? Look, we'd also go as far as to say, you know, as much as possible, please extend this to others. We will continue to have overviews on you know, in terms of what we do on a monthly basis, so that if you want to bring others onto the program to get this kind of sense of what's going on. I reiterate our passion in continuously learning and reskilling. That'll be great. Will you send a mail with the website? Yes. No. We'll do that. We'll certainly do that. We'll forward up with a mail with the website details and how to make payment. Also understand that we will be focusing on marketing from a more practical approach. Can we? Okay, this is a long question. Let me just open the chat box up. Can we have some examples of how this course will differ from marketing courses I attended in university? Great question, Josh. So I'll start, and then I'll get Kwali to add to this. Josh, one of the challenges of academia, and again, I'm not knocking academia, is that because of the scale and size of academia, and because of the idea that you are certified by writing an exam, and therefore if you've written an exam, you therefore know what you're doing. What you don't get to experience in academia is usually the practicality of any program that they're having from experience. So what you will have that's very different here is a conversation with Catherine, who comes from brand marketing and is a brand marketer, has got brand marketing experience. And as you can see, the program is going to evolve around practicalities of things, as opposed to the academia of things. So there are no tests here. So it's the only test that's going to be here is conversing and making sure that you really understand, both from an articulation point of view and a practical implementation point of view, what you're doing. We assume that you're either going to utilize it in the workplace or in the business place, but certainly this is not 3-4 years of names of an institutional studying process. Not at all.
Yeah. And to add to what Vic has said, now I've mentioned that I've been mentoring graduates. I have colleagues as well who are not graduates that I have worked with. And through that experience, you tend to discover a lot that's lacking, especially from someone who's fresh from varsity when they walk into a work environment. You know, let's face it, we were all once at varsity and we were all cramming the textbook because we just want to pass the exam. You know, all you wanting to do is, I just need to get that degree. And then you get to a job, now you need to implement. You don't know where to start, and that's the truth. You just don't know where to start. You do whatever you can. They give you these templates that you need to fill in. Most of the time, there's not even someone able to guide you, because this person that you walked into, that marketing manager you have to report to, that person has their own responsibilities that they're busy with. So this platform is a place where we're saying, let's put all the stuff, that practicality that is required of you when you get into a work environment. I made an example about putting together a brief to an agency in a real environment. I was never even taught that when I did my IMM. You walk into a business place, you have to put in a brief. Where do you start? So those are the things that we're going to do here. And you're going to walk out here with a template of your own. You have your own template. And the things that I'd love to teach as well is a template is not something that's, it's a live document. You do it according to the need of what you want to put in there. You don't just follow from A to Z. It's very versatile. So those are the things we need to work on, things that I want to teach you. That a brief is supposed to be your own thing. You don't just follow a template because it was given to you. So there's a lot of things, again, from experience that I know. I was a student as well. I know what I learned. I was cramming, I needed to pass. Then you get to an environment, where work environment, it's different. So that's what we want to bring in this platform.
Absolutely. And again, just to add to that, in the next 3 years or year, 3 years, 5 years, you're just constantly having to keep yourself updated. And these are the kind of platforms that will help you keep you updated. What you learned 5 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe even a year ago, actually definitely a year ago, is probably outdated with the advent of digital, more so now than ever before, and the advent of people moving towards digital marketing. If we go into lockdown 5, sticking billboards up, not a good idea. So what does that mean to how you can reach the audience that you're trying to reach? Josh, you asked also how the engagement takes place. Exactly in the way Catherine mentioned it. There'll be what she will do is present for a period of time, and then it's engagement, it's conversation, it's discussion, it's ideas. And I think what I really like that you did, Catherine, is to give people a highlight of what's coming in the next session. So it means you go away and think about it, and also please utilize it in the relevance of your workplace marketing, brand marketing at work, and also for your business, but also for yourself as well, because there's a lot of that element too. I mean, I think sometimes, Catherine, about when we talk about brand and individuals linked to big brands, I think of, the big name that comes to my mind is somebody like Richard Branson, right? Where you've got this brand of Virgin, which is very powerful in itself, but you've got this association with the owner. Even more so than, for example, Nike, where Phil Knight, probably most people don't even know who founded Nike, right? Phil Knight is really in the background, but yeah, when you think Nike, you tend to think Michael Jordan, right? It's like he owns the thing, but he's just, so that also that relationship between, big brands that you're putting out there and the individuals and people and how, for example, companies, CEOs are having to become more the brand of the organization. So they can't sit behind their ivory towers anymore. They need to be out there. They need to be articulating what they believe in.
And I just want to add, Vic, that don't forget, as a marketer, you're also a brand.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
You skill yourself because you're a brand. You stand for something and you want to protect the brand. Brands grow, brands are self-aware. So you're a brand yourself. So do not forget that. So in this session as well, you must think about, what brand am I? How do I want people to remember me?
Woo.
So this session is not just going to be about their product, their service. It's also going to be about you as a brand.
Yeah, that's for me, that's the big one. The relevance of you and how much attention is being focused on you. And we just came off a call that talked about retrenchment and job uncertainty, another program that we're having. And they were talking on there about, people having 200 to 300 to 400 CVs. When people are retrenched and they're applying for a job, it's anything between, 100 to 200 CVs. As a matter of fact, if you look at LinkedIn, they cut you off now when you're not there. So the question becomes, how are you going to differentiate yourself from that other 100? well, actually, sorry, 20 million unemployed people in South Africa. But you've got, if you add the world, because of digital technology, everybody can look for a job everywhere. So you're really competing with the rest of the world. How are you going to differentiate? So what is your brand? So absolutely. Oof.
Yeah.
Favorite topic, but a big one. So yeah, Josh, just to finalize your question, Catherine, yes, it's by voice and text. I know you are doing this text, but there's absolutely engagement both from a conversational point of view, and also by chat. So with what we do, we try to get as much engagement as possible. Ideally with your cameras on, so Catherine can see who she's talking to, and having the conversation. But yeah, both ways. I will look at the chat box as she's presenting, and if there is anything in there that I'll put her attention to, but both ways and engage. And definitely, I mean, I think that's the difference between what Catherine's going to do and what university does, is that she's actually going to talk about her experience in this. This is not textbook. Very few textbooks that are going to be produced by great people. This is really going to be marketing at its optimum in terms of through experience. So yes, she'll definitely talk about practical experiences and practical, and even the case studies, by the way, not things from 1910. We'll show you what went wrong with clicks and et cetera, et cetera. So she has that capacity to give real life bumps in the road and successes as well.